Like, how much do you hear African dialect in the patois?
I would say on the tonation and the accent and style, it's 100%.
I would say Jamaicans have got Nigerian personality though. We both behave like we're the biggest country in Africa. We behave as if Nigerians behave as if we're from the capital of Africa, bro.
Welcome to today's video, guys. If it is your first time on this channel, kindly like this video, subscribe to this channel, and remember to leave your sweet comment. In today's video, guys, I'll be talking about some of the feuds that have been happening in Africa, pitting three countries, two African countries and the Jamaica. These countries are Ghana and Nigeria. You know, when you talk of Ghana and Nigeria, they played a very crucial role during the transatlantic slave trade. Most of the slaves that were shipped to the Caribbean and to the global north, majority of them were from part of West Africa, and these nations played a critical role. That is Ghana and Nigeria. I've compiled several videos of people who are reacting and sharing different details. Some are doing just banters concerning this feud. This feud is not that complex or that tough to the point of them fighting. Just internet feud that is taking place on the internet, and it doesn't mean that we as Africans, we are rivals, because these feuds have been happening from time to time, pitting like South Africa and Kenya, Nigeria and Ghana. So today I'll be talking specifically about the feuds or the internet banters that have been happening between the Ghana and Nigeria. So look at these videos before we come back and expound, so that we can be educated more about these videos.
You hear patois, how much tree is in patois?
Yes.
Like, how much do you hear African dialect in the patois?
I would say on the tonation and the accent and style, it's 100%. Yo, I'm gonna wonder that there, no. Yes, I didn't know I'm assuming poe, Brian, alive, eh? That's street. That's patois. Where you go? Yo, who going?
Right.
Sound the same to me.
Nigeria and Jamaica have a special bond, and we can't stop thinking about it. Recall when Miss Jamaica won Miss World in 2019. Miss Nigeria jubilated in such a way that you would think that she won the crown. Some people say she was doing too much. But please, this was a moment of sisterhood. Likewise, in July 2022, Toby Amuson won the 100 meters hurdles in the World Athletics, and the Jamaican competitors celebrated with her, hugging her too. Would you say that she was also doing too much? Nah.
You are from Kumasi. That's where your root is from. So when you get to Kumasi, the way you dress, the way you eat, your house, your everything really looks like them in Jamaica as well. Yes. So a lot of Jamaicans like to go to Kumasi.
That's true. You lot, I would say Jamaicans have got Nigerian personality though. Look what happened today. We're acting like this is a Jamaican team.
What did you just say?
Jamaicans have got Nigerian personality.
Don't say that again.
When we deep it, we both behave like we're the biggest country in Africa. We behave as if Nigerians behave as if we're from the capital of Africa, bro.
But Congolese aunties and Jamaican aunties have blue hair sometimes. This is very true.
Caribbeans have red hair sometimes.
Yeah. Don't Jamaicans act like they run the whole, like, carnival's not really theirs, is it? Let's be honest. It's not.
What is this? Wait, have you just come here to just slander our thing?
No, I support Jamaicans. I used to be one. I used to be one. All through school, bro. My friends are watching this like, swear down. He's not even, no, bro, Nigerian.
Told the immigration people the other day,
Yes.
that there is a lot of similarities,
Yes.
in terms of culture and a lot of things in Jamaica and the Igbo people.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, Igbo people are a major tribe in Nigeria. We are from the southeast of Nigeria. Let's look at the language.
All right.
What you people use here as Unu is also the same Unu in Igbo language, which means you all.
Yeah, so Unu love Jamaica.
Good.
You understand that perfectly.
So it's the same.
Yes.
The same meaning of Unu here in Jamaica is the same thing in Igbo. So that is that. When you come to food,
Yes.
the same yam here is the same yam.
Yes.
The same plantain,
Same
the same
plantain.
banana, the same corn or maize or whatever, the same cocoa yam and all the rest. So a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
For us, the
Igbo community, Ndibo, we are community oriented. And as a result of that, we ensured to, form a socio-cultural association that bring every one of us together. And this social-cultural association, within the context of Jamaica, we meet every second Sunday in each month.
So they cannot lose their thing because they are in what we call Obodoyibo. They are in abroad, or they are in a foreign land. We have to.
All right, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. As many of you may know, I am from Nigeria. I am from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria, and I live in Trinidad and Tobago, Caribbean. I have been gradually observing a lot of things that have me excited, pleasantly excited. I realized that some of the slangs or words that Caribbean people use actually originated from some tribe in Africa. For example, Jamaica, they use the word unu a lot. I hear that in a lot of Jamaican music. Unu. Sometimes I will hear something that goes unu dum. I'm like, what? Listen, don't tell me that these people are using our language. And that's part of your everyday word. One day I heard it in another song. I said, no, I want to go research. Now, unu in my tribe means all of you. When they say unu dum bia, meaning all of you come. And when we say unu, it means all of you. When we say unu dum, the doom at the end stresses on the fact that I want all of you to come, that they are calling everyone to come. And Jamaican people use that a lot. I'm like, okay, let me go research. When I did my research, I figured out that unu also mean all of you. I'm like, hold up, how did that happen? Did they borrow it from the tribe? Maybe during the time of slavery, many of their ancestors came with some of their tribal languages. So it keeps showing me that, listen, these people in the Caribbean, especially Afro-Caribbean, truly came from Africa, truly came from Nigeria and the Ghana, especially the Igbo tribes and the Yoruba tribe as well. Caribbean people use the word mumu. Everybody in Nigeria know when you say that guy na mumu, meaning that guy is stupid, he's fool, he's not smart enough. And in the Caribbean, it means the same. Mumu. Come on, man, hold up. This is becoming more interesting for me.
In the world of Africa and the Caribbean history, there is a complex yet fascinating story about the connections between these three countries, Ghana, Nigeria, and Jamaica. These countries share deep ties through the transatlantic slave trade. You may wonder, what do Jamaica have to do with this? Well, Jamaica has become a place where these two African nations are often compared and even compete. If a Jamaican comes over to Ghana or Nigeria, they feel that they are in Jamaica. The same applies to Africans. Most of the Africans, especially from Nigeria and Ghana, when they visit Jamaica, it is as if they are in Africa. So the two or the three countries, let me say just Africa and Jamaica, most parts of Africa and Jamaica have a lot of similarities, whether it's food, music, or even social identity. Let's dive into the history first. So I'll start with talking about the historical context about these three countries. To understand the feuds, we need to go back in history, specifically to the era of the transatlantic slave trade. That was the years between, or rather the centuries between 16th and 19th centuries. Millions of Africans were captured, enslaved, and shipped across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas, particularly Jamaica, because there's part of Jamaica that was where some of the slaves were being placed there before taken over to the America or the global South. Both Ghana and Nigeria, located on the western coast of Africa, were among the major regions from which enslaved Africans were taken from. The Ashanti people from Ghana and various ethnic groups from Nigeria, like the Igbo and the Yoruba, were part of this painful diaspora. Over time, their descendants formed much of the cultural foundation of Jamaican society. In Jamaica, African traditions blended with the influences of colonialism to create a distinct cultural identity. one that many in Ghana and Nigeria proudly claim as their own. So when it comes to the question of which African nation has the most influence on the Jamaican culture, you'll often hear strong opinions from both Ghana and Nigerians. Both of them, as you have seen from the videos, are claiming to have that influence. Like there's a video from a Ghanaian tourist guide. He's telling the tourists that the name Jamaica was coined from Ashanti tribe named Jama Yaka.
Across the country, and particularly along the coast, evidence of the European presence in the slave trade in the 14th century abound. And just as Ghana bears the marks of colonialism, many parts of the Americas, Europe and elsewhere also carry proof of aspects of the culture of enslaved Africans who, until their sojourn, knew no other way of life. From the ancestral river park at Asin Mansu in the central region, the story is told, for example, of how the Caribbean country of Jamaica was named by Akan slaves.
The term Jamaica, as it refers, it wasn't the indigenous people who named it as Jamaica, but it was the Akan-speaking people, the slaves who were captured from this place to Jamaica, looking at the terms or conditions that they found themselves. Then they say, wow, it seems this place that we have come to stay permanently. Perhaps we have come to stay permanently. In our conversion, we say Jama Yaka. Jama Yaka. Jama means perhaps to stay permanently Yaka. So Jama Yaka. So continue pronunciation, the Anglicized they make it Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica.
They say Jamaica, and they called the name, but in real sense, the name Jamaica came from the Taino tribe, or the Taino people who are the original inhabitants of Jamaica. One of the other things that is very controversial and has been harboring this internet feud is the Jollof rice, or I can put it the Jollof rice debate. It is one of the famous and ongoing debates between Ghanaians and Nigerians about food, specifically Jollof rice. For those unfamiliar, Jollof rice is a popular dish in West Africa made with rice, tomatoes, onions, and variety of spices. It is a beloved staple in both Ghana and Nigeria, and both nations claim to have the best version of it. But why does this matter to Jamaica? Jamaica's cuisine, influenced heavily by African, European, and indigenous cultures, shares some similarities with both Nigerian and Ghanaian cooking. Jollof rice is often compared to Jamaican rices and peas, and while they are different dishes, both feature rice as central component. The rivalry between Ghana and Nigeria over who makes the best jollof rice has spilled into the Caribbean, where Jamaicans have their own strong opinions about who does it better, Ghana or Nigeria. But what's even more interesting is how this rivalry reflects deeper cultural connections. Jamaicans themselves have different perspectives on their African roots, and in this, Ghana and Nigeria often become symbols of those ties. The Jollof Wars are a playful yet heated example of how food can serve as a battleground for national pride. One of the other things that I'll talk about, the influence of music, especially reggae and Afrobeats. In addition to food, music plays a huge role in shaping the cultural exchanges between Ghana, Nigeria, and Jamaica. Jamaica is globally known for reggae music, a genre that has not only shaped Caribbean identity, but also has had a profound impact on African musicians and artists. Many reggae icons are often celebrated in both Ghana and Nigeria, as the music speaks to struggles of freedom, unity, and identity. But in recent years, the music scene has shifted. Afrobeats, a genre that originated in Nigeria, has taken the world by storm. This vibrant, danceable music has found a huge audience in Jamaica, where reggae's influence is still strong. The question arises, who owns the larger piece of the musical legacy in Jamaica, Ghana or Nigeria? It's from Ghana, Nigeria, and Jamaica collaborate, but also compete for influence over Caribbean and African music. Both countries often claim that their own musical styles have had a more profound effect on Jamaica music, leading to a friendly rivalry between the two African nations. One of the things that you cannot do away with is the shared identity and the national pride. Beyond the food and music, both Ghana and Nigeria hold a special place in the hearts of Jamaicans due to their shared African ancestry. However, there is an underlying competition for who has stronger connection to the Jamaican identity. Some Jamaicans proudly claim a Ghanaian heritage, pointing to the Ashanti influence, which is related to the people living in the mountainous region. They are saying that they are more related to the Ashanti, while others emphasize their Nigerian roots, especially through the Igbo communities. And bearing in mind most of the words in Jamaican patois are coiled from most of these tribes that I've mentioned, Ashanti and Igbo. For example, Unu. This shared history and a pride in African heritage have led to a beautiful fusion of cultural expressions in Jamaica. Yet, the rivalry between Ghana and Nigeria often emerges in the form of who contributed more to the Jamaican identity, whether through language, dance, spirituality, or arts. To my conclusion, I can say that while the rivalry between Ghana and Nigeria may seem intense at times, it's important to recognize that these countries, alongside Jamaica, share a common bond in their African roots and history. Whether it's through the shared experience of the transatlantic slave trade, the blending of cultures in the Caribbean, or the ongoing debates over food and music, all three nations are interconnected in ways that extend beyond rivalry. In the end, this feud isn't just about which country is better in the eyes of Jamaica. It's about understanding the deep and rich cultural connections that continue to shape the identities of people across Africa and the Caribbean. Both Ghana and Nigeria have influenced Jamaica in unique ways, and in many ways, the rivalry only strengthens the cultural ties between them. This has been the video for today. If you're not subscribed to this channel, kindly do me a favor by subscribing, liking this video, leave your comment below, and remember to hit the bell notification icon so that in case I get to post next time, you'll be notified. And I'll leave you with this nugget. Next time you hear someone argue about who makes the best jollof rice or who has better musical influence in Jamaica, remember that it's all part of a larger story or shared history or cultural exchange and national pride. We are all one. We are all Africans, and majority of Jamaicans on the record, they are from West Africa. So we are all brothers and sisters. We should live as one. These feuds are just internet feuds. It doesn't mean that we as African brothers we don't love each other. It's just for fun, for banters, but it doesn't mean that we are enemies. Nigerians, there are so many Nigerians in my country. There are so many countrymen in Nigeria. We are just generally one. Big up yourself. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Until next time, blessings.